Hello viewers, maybe dear students. I am on the home page of one of my websites .com. So the third post, as you can see, is app to draw ogive curve. Let's explore this web page. And here I have input some default data like lower limit of first class to be 50, lower limit of second class as 55, and some frequencies. Also the scalings along x and y axis, and here is the graph for this data. But your data could definitely be different from this one. So today I'm going to let you know how to use this app using two separate math problems. They come from two different publications, the most famous ones in Bangladesh. So here is the first one I want to talk about. Although most of the text are in Bangla, and I am not sure whether you are going to understand this, but at least you know that the lower limit of the first class is 11 and that of second class is 21, right? And the first few frequencies are 3, 5, 2. Now let's proceed. The rest of the frequencies are 10, 7, 4, 3, 1. Now I would like to see the scalings. Along the x-axis they have taken like what? 5 smallest squares for 10 units. And along the y-axis it is 1:1. So let's do that. So how many units to assume as the length of smallest square along the x-axis? I believe it is 2. You may have known that these two places are inverse to one another, and along the y-axis it should be simply 1. So if you change 1, then the other will be automatically changed, like I tap and the other thing changes. So here is the graph. Take a look at this shape. See, there is no break here because 0 to 10 is 10 units and 10 to 20 is again 10 units. Although the shape here is the same, the problem is that they have put a break here. That's why I have marked this with red pen. So as you can see, the highest frequency belongs to this point, which is 35. Let's see whether this is the case on my app. Yes, it is 35. And if you want to check whether the table, the cumulative frequency distribution table, if it is okay, there are 4 columns here, and there is probably an option here, right here, whether to keep want to show the continuous class intervals column in the cumulative frequency distribution table. Currently it is yes. Let's choose no. So now we have 3 columns. So as you can see, 10 to 20, and the last one is 81 to 90. This is the corresponding table, 11 to 20 and 81 to 90. So I guess the app works perfectly, even more than perfectly for this particular math problem where they have made the mistake, but not my app. Let's proceed to another one. So in this particular case, the lower limit of first class is 45 and that of second class is 51, right? So the difference between this one and the previous problem is that the class interval is 6 in this case, but in the previous case it was 5. So the first few frequencies are 6, 9, 21. Six, 9, 21. This is probably 45 and this one is 51. Okay, rest of the frequencies are 16 and 8. Now let's observe the scalings. Along the x-axis it is in the case of my app, if the class interval is not a multiple of 5, like 6 or 7, maybe 9 or 11, then whatever the class interval is, it is contained within 5 smallest squares. But if it is a multiple of 5, then you have the freedom to make it like it will be different. Otherwise you will use the app and you will get to see it on your own. So since the class interval is 6 in this case, we have no control on the x-axis scaling, but on the y-axis we do have it. So it is 10 units for 10 smallest squares, which is quite fair and simple. So as you can see, they have already put, the app has already taken it values like 1.2 and 0.833, which are inverse to one another, and in case of y-axis it has to be 1 because 10 units for 10 smallest squares. So the scalings are also okay. Now we should have the exact graph they are having. Take a look at this, or maybe this one. Now this one, I guess it is the same. So it starts at 44 and ends at 74 on the x-axis, and here it is the same case. This is an extra value 80, but the curve ends on 74, and the corresponding highest frequency is 60. They also have 60, don't they? Now let's take the table. It's 45 to 50, the first class, and 69 to 74, the last class. See, it is the same thing. So I guess now you know how to use the app, but there are some other handles or maybe options I should introduce you to. If you can choose to show the frequency distribution table. Currently it is shown, but if you say not to be shown, then this particular message will appear. Let us draw the ogive curve using the frequency distribution table presented previously. Second thing is, number labels along the x-axis have to be horizontal or vertical. Currently it is horizontal when the numbers are in decimal and you are afraid that they might touch one another. In that case you may choose them to be vertical, like this one. But at the vertical they do not look very good. You can choose to present the description of the graph before the graph or maybe after the graph. Currently it is before the graph. Let's read what it says. Let's plot continuous class intervals along x-axis using convenient units where break sign indicates 0 to 44, right? And cumulative frequencies along y-axis taking length of each smallest square as the as unit. The language is not perfect, but it is fairly okay. Now let's identify the curve points above each upper limit of classes. Next, we draw the ogive curve starting from 44 on the x-axis and connecting the points previously identified. Okay. Next option. So if I choose after the graph, the description goes after the graph, and the graph needs to be colored or maybe black and white. This time it is black and white. And the first line segment of the ogive curve has to be solid or maybe dashed. I prefer it to be solid, but I don't know why some people prefer it to be dashed. That's a reason in case of frequency polygon, but I do not find any reason for ogive curve. Yes, since they prefer it, so I have provided this option. And also coordinates of points to be shown on the graph, not to be shown. Currently you only get to see the dots, the small circles, but no coordinates. If you choose this option, then the coordinates will be shown like this. In my country, the A-level equivalent students, they prefer to show it, but I have designed for O-level equivalent students, but still I have kept the provision. Next, now here's the thing, enter a value here to adjust the height of the graph, e.g. if you erase 1 and enter 0.5, the graph height will be halved. The same logic applies for values greater than 1. So look at the height of the graph. If you think it is too high, too tall, then you can choose 0.9 or maybe 0.85 instead of 1. In that case, the height decreases by 15%. You click or tap on the graph and here you find it, the height has definitely diminished maybe. Okay, also some other options. If I choose to read all of them, it will take a lot of time. Simply let me read this. Name of the variable along the x-axis that is to appear in the description. And you have two, maybe 3 options for this: continuous class intervals, upper limits of classes, and upper limits of class intervals. So if you choose upper limits of classes, in the description you will see only this one. Let's plot upper limits of classes. See? But if you choose continuous class intervals, now you can see. Let's plot continuous class intervals. In case of description, it is one thing, and in case of the graph itself, it is another thing. When you have when continuous class intervals is chosen, you have this option: want to show the continuous class intervals column in the cumulative frequency distribution table. Currently, just a moment ago, I have selected no. So, and not only that, I also have vanished the table itself. So here it is. First of all, I have to the frequency distribution table, not exactly frequency but cumulative frequency distribution table. Now this one appears, and currently the no is chosen. If you select yes, then the second column is continuous class intervals, but if you choose no, then that particular column vanishes and the second column is frequencies. Okay, let's go on. Name of the variable along the x-axis that is to appear in the graph itself. And I told you the variable name depends on you. You could choose the same name for the description and the graph, or you could choose different names. Currently it is in the graph along the x-axis. Upper limits of classes is chosen, that's why see upper limits of classes. But if you choose, like let's say continuous class intervals, which is the second choice, this one appears now. So I have kept a lot of provisions for you. So that's it, guys. This is how you are going to use this particular app to draw ogive curve. The URL is, as you can see, the domain name slash ogive curve hyphen ogive hyphen curve hyphen ing. And recently I have taken another domain which is .net, and you are going to have this with almost the same URL, except at the last forward slash, instead of the last forward slash, you will use .html. I'm not going to show that currently because it is not available now. As of this moment, I am recording this tutorial video, but it will be available shortly. But let me show you my other domain, maybe the other, you can call it the other website. So it is the home page, and when you click this particular link, this particular link, draw ogive curve, currently it is 404 not found, but you will find this within by the time you get to watch this tutorial video. Thank you for watching this one. Have a great day.